My name is Hoss Booty, and not only does Burnaby Manufacturing manufacture the world famous gas plug, but we also manufacture tiki torches and stands. And today I'm going to give you a short demonstration on the stand and the heads, and when we're done, just before we're done, we're going to fire them up so that you can have a look at the flame. Today we're going to demonstrate a two-headed propane model with copper heads. You can get a three-headed model, you can get a single stand. They come in either black cones or copper cones. But today we're going to demonstrate the two-headed copper LP. And when you get a two-headed stand, you will end up with 4 packages. If you get a three-headed stand, you will end up with 5 packages. You'll get the base and accessory components. You'll get a box with pipes in it, and you'll get the 2 heads. If you get the three-headed stand, you're going to get 3 heads. So first thing you want to do when you get your boxes is to open them up, take the product out, and make sure there's no damages during shipment. So I'm going to open up these boxes and put the materials, put the product out on the table for our assembly. This is the base assembly. We've got the tank cover. We've got the hose and regulator assembly. We've got the hub. And some tape. We also have an Allen wrench, which you're going to need to tighten the set screws in the hub. And of course, the base itself. You've got a set of instructions, and you also have a checklist. Now these checklists are put in each box to remind the packager to make sure all the items are in. You'll see a date on it and an initial who did the packaging. Now we'll open up the pipe box. Now in this case we've got 5 pipes because it's a two-headed stand, so we'll have 3 pipes with a plain end and 2 pipes that are threaded for the heads. Now I'm going to leave them in the end boxes so that we can take them out and they don't roll around when we do our assembly. Okay, now we're going to open up the heads. You'll notice on the top of the box is a date and a signature, or it's not a signature, just an initial, but a date as to when they were test fired. Each one of these heads is test fired before it's packaged. You want to check your head for damage during shipment. No damage here. And you want to check the CSA label to make sure that you're using the right fuel. In this case, it's LP or propane. That's good. That's what we're going to set up today. Now, the only other things you're going to need before we start the assembly is you're going to need a few tools. You're going to need a pipe wrench, either an 18 to 24-inch pipe wrench. You're going to need a crescent wrench. A 12-inch crescent wrench does the job. The Allen key is supplied. And you're going to need a source of ignition when you're done. You can use a barbecue lighter, or you can use one of these propane torches. We like these because they get the job done quickly. You'll need a little Teflon tape. Now at this point I got to tell you that because we brought out a pipe wrench and we brought out Teflon tape, there's some threaded fittings. We recommend that a bona fide gas fitter do the assembly. There is some pipe fitting required. The only other thing you need is some soap test solution, which is just some dish soap in a little jar with a brush so that we can soap test all the joints before we're done. Now we'll go to the demonstration. Okay, we're going to get started on the assembly. You're going to take the base and you're going to set it on the ground. you're going to take the pipes, plain end pipes. There's 2 threaded ones, 3 plain end. You're going to take the plain ended pipes and you're going to stick them into the support of the base. Now at this point, if you've bought the sleeves, the bamboo sleeves, the base sleeves need to go on these pipes because the hub will stop you from doing that later. And the base sleeve for the bamboo has a notch, and that allows you to slide it down over top of the support. Actually, you're going to tighten that set screw before you put the sleeve on. But for this demonstration, I'm not going to do a sleeved stand, but this is where you would start the bottom sleeves. Now once you've got the 3 pipes here, you're going to take your hub, not the threaded side, but just the socket side, and you're going to put it on top of the pipes. At this point, you're going to make sure everything's bottomed out. You can feel that the pipes are bottomed into the hub and they're bottomed into the base. You're going to take your Allen wrench that was provided and you're going to tighten the set screws to secure the base. At this point, now you want to put the set screws in the base itself. I see this one moving, so I'm going to tighten it. Now you're going to take the threaded pipe and you're going to put some Teflon tape or pipe dope on the threads. Now we're going to use Teflon tape because it's a little cleaner and we can do that during the demonstration. But there's nothing wrong with pipe dope. In fact, pipe dope is a little more desirable probably because when you're all finished, you can touch up any of the pipe dope with some black paint which hides it, whereas the Teflon tape, it doesn't paint that well. Now you're going to put these threaded pipes and thread them into the hub. You can see a plug here on the hub. If you had a 3-headed one, this plug would not be in and you'd use 3 pipes. Now because of the angle of the hub, they're not the easiest to start in some cases because it looks like it's off at an angle and it's easier to start something that's square. But they do thread in, they all have been checked. So just put them in hand tight. Now that you have them in hand tight, we're going to put the heads on. Again, I'm going to look, the head says LP. This is an LP stand, propane, good to go. Just hand tight. Now, because these heads are anodized, we don't want to use a pipe wrench on the nut below the head, or it might scratch it. So we're going to use a crescent wrench, a 12-inch crescent wrench, open all the way on the bottom hex nut. Will do the job. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foot on the base so it doesn't move, and I'm going to tighten the pipe and the head. And you're going to do this until you can't see that pipe turn anymore. It does help if you're a little taller. Now, once you know that you've got that joint tight, or you're going to check it anyway, but as tight as you can get it, you're going to take your pipe wrench and you're going to add a 1/4 turn from the pipe to the hub. Now in this case, I put a little tape over the jaws just so you don't damage the coating, but you may get some damage there depending on your pipe wrench. If you do, you can turn around and put a little paint on it. About a 1/4 turn should do the job. You're going to find out when you soap test. If you need to do a little more, you can. There's 2 hooks on your base. They're open hooks. Put the tie-down strap on one side Tie down strap on the other side. Now the ring is just there to hold the base from sliding. If this tips over, the tank will stay secure. Secure your tank. You're going to take your hose and reg assembly and you're going to attach it. Now how you attach it is you take off the thread protector off of the manual valve, close the manual valve, and screw it, the nut onto the thread that is on the manual valve. There's no pipe dope or Teflon tape required here because it is a flared fitting. I'm going to tighten it up with the crescent wrench. Then you take your QCC fitting and attach it to your tank. That QCC fitting is you'll see it's very common in propane equipment. It's designed so that it bottoms out and is gas tight before it'll allow any gas to flow. So at this point you can turn your propane on and you're going to use your soap solution to see if there's a leak on this nut that you've just installed. And you do that by just using a brush, creating some bubbles, and you watch to see if there's any bubbling. In this case, no, it's tight. Now, before you're going to go check the rest of the joints, you've got your soap solution handy. You're going to get your igniter because you're going to ignite these heads so that you get gas flowing in all of these connections so you can check them. Now, I'm using a little plumber's torch. You can use a barbecue igniter, like I said. This is a little handier. So you're going to turn your valve on and you're going to count to 3 and you're going to light the torch. 1, 2, 3. Now at this point, you want to test the rest of the joints that you haven't tested, and that includes the ones on the other side of that valve that you just looked at. The manual valve has 2 joints there, and you'll want to soap test that. The joints that you got into the hub, including the plug, and the joints that you have here in the head. And you can put the soap solution on, get it right around the whole joint, and then just keep an eye. Sometimes it's just a small bubble, but you should just keep an eye for a little while, give it some time. If it's a bad leak, of course, it'll bubble a lot, but looks like everything is tight. Now we can put the cover on the tank. Cover comes with a Velcro seam on it, which wraps around the tank. It has a notch out of this top for the hose and reg assembly to stick through. We're good to go. You can now put them in your patio. You can put them out by your pool deck. Enjoy. We're going to do a 10-mile-an-hour test so that it lights at 10 miles an hour. And then we're going to do a wind test in operation at 40 miles an hour. I'm going to turn the fan on, which gives us very close to 10 miles an hour. I'm going to turn the flame off now. So it lit. Now I'm going to jack it up to 40 miles an hour and see what that flame looks like at that point. Each head goes through this procedure before it's packaged. That's one of 3 or 4 other procedures as well.